And we are back with Zaka on Plague. Zaka loves Plague so much, and also I see some interesting stuff. Zaka decided to go for Yellow Apple and one duration add-on, which is gonna make the trial only have 2 pools, so you're gonna have to be careful and play with that RNG. We see the pools are spread, one on bottom, one on top side. We see the Corrupt is full on bottom, and I believe that is a Forger on top side. Zaka, on the other hand, is just trying to figure out where the survivors are hiding. He's just already finding 2 survivors that are fully running towards Shack. Zaka is a little bit happy. Only 40 seconds in the trial, and we see over there, I think it was Milestone who was just working towards the tile 8. No, not Milestone, but Quentin, and now Zaka infects every single object in order to, force that infection on the survivors. It doesn't really matter how, you don't have to pick straight on him, and that's gonna be the crouch tech. Unfortunately, the crouch tech doesn't work, and Zaka gets the first infection very, very easily.
Yeah, definitely does. And I do believe that Zaka actually saw all 4 survivors, and I think Tree Trig and Goodcon was also spotted, as well as Milston. You see one gen over here getting done, and here it is. Tree Trig already spotted as well. Is the infection going to come through? It is definitely trying to get that to full, but not going to be the case this time a while. Not going to be the case here either, unfortunately. Very, very good vault here by Tree Trig, but very, very happy to just, apply some eruption onto this generator and forcing a little bit of pressure. As we can see, the Bam Bam coming through. Is this going to be an M1 down? It might just be with a little bit of more infection. Right here with the pallet, might have to get dropped. It is going to be dropped, and the full infection is in effect. Let's see if they can play around this little loop, little LT wall. I don't believe that they can. Oh, of course, the Bam Bam over there makes it impossible to vault through, so should just walk up, trying to do a little bit of mind game, and here it is, the first down coming through. Corrupt intervention has now been lifted.
Yep, that's great. And we have the regression by eruption as well. That generator is 100% zero. It seems like Zaka is willing to hook in the middle section of the map. So you have that pressure on the bottom side and on the top side at the same time. You also have a reach for the both pools. We have the stuff from Quentin going to Zaka. This camp position now will be dead zone. We have the generator with progression, but Zaka is waiting for eruption. It seems like his game sense is saying that somebody might go instantly back for the save. We hear the generator with auto progression. We see Quentin in main and Milestone going for the save. I believe no, Milestone wasn't going for the save. Milestone was going to tap the generator and force the infection with that. 3 survivors infected already. Good Khan has to hide very well because the true gameplay of Plague comes when all the survivors are injured.
Oh, exactly. This is exactly what you want as Plague. Obviously, you want Goodcon as well to be infected, but that is the only downside that we can tell right here. And actually, this is Trichik actually going to go to stage 2 right here, because while we had Zaka on the opposite side of the map trying to do a little bit of infectious play, we didn't see anyone get the save. So this might just be a stage 2, which means a very easy tunnel out afterwards, for sure. And yeah, we do see the stage 2 coming through here. I'm not sure that was the correct play here, coming on the other side from Divine Dead. What do you think?
Could be. The Russians know what to do over there. They have their comms straight on because they speak the same native language, which is great for them. But Zaka, you cannot underestimate Zaka, especially when he's playing Plague. I think it's one of the killers that he's picking the most when he's able to. And we see Zaka going straight for the tunnel out over here. And for the camp, we hear Goodcon over there coughing in the distance. Zaka just going for a little bit more infection, but he wants the tunnel out. 3 or 2 generators left, so you will be able later to play a 3-gen in a 3v1 situation, which could be insanely hard versus Plague, considering he still has both of the pulls up and that add-on that prolongs the duration with 20 seconds. That's gonna make it 80, which is crazy to run. You're gonna have to hide the power if you want to do anything, but Zaka knows about that strategy. Zaka isn't a rookie. Zaka knows you should pick power only when you have somebody in your face that you're able to get the free down. And we hear Quentin, and we're going for the power. No, we're going for the mind games over there. Zaka, the Lord of M1 mind games in the check, doesn't quite reach Quentin, and Quentin just a blink is away, so we're gonna go for the kick on the generator.
Yeah, commence the 3-gen strategy. Obviously, that is what they are going to do every single time it is available to him. And in this map, in particular, in Suffocation Bit, it is so much easier than most other maps because the map is just so divided from the beginning. We do see the 2 gens that have been done. We don't really see any progress on the opposite side of the map, though. And here comes the 3rd gen. But I do believe Milston and Kurzep actually are in kind of a pickle here. This pallet is gone from a long while ago, and that means he is definitely going down. Nothing to do here for Kurzep at all. That is one down. The slug is going to come through because Milston is still around. Bam Bam is going to secure the main. And question is if Milston can do anything to get out of this situation. It's going to be a rough one here for Divine Dead. I feel like they might have signed their own death certificate with not getting any of the gens on the other side of the map done. And yeah, with Kurzep down as well, it's going to be very, very hard from here. But here it goes. The Bam Bam has been lifted. Can Milston actually escape from the main side of the map? I think it's going to be a little bit difficult. The Bloodlust does come through, and he does have a pool right here. Very, very nice for Zaka. That means this pallet is no longer safety. It just means imminent death at some point. Hopefully, Zaka is thinking. Kurzep has been lifted up again from the ground, and yep, Mister's just going to go into the corner of the map. Nowhere else to run. But Zaka still has a little bit of corrupt left in him, or a little bit of, power left. Definitely needs to make sure that this is going to last as long as possible and try to get some more downs here.
That's quite interesting. However, Zaka decided that, well, Divine Dead, they placed a lot of pressure before on the matches, so they know how to play against it. He's expecting them to be hiding, so one good strategy that you can go for is hook somebody and force them to go for the unhook by the time your power is over, and you will be there to prevent that save happening. And if the save isn't happening, you can also get the second stage onto Milestone. That could put a lot of troubles onto Divine Dead. We haven't seen a lot of progress onto the generators. We see over here good count. Oh, that was close. Once again, the crouch tech. Going for the third time is a charm. No, I can swear that red pick hit good kind of order, but my guy is very lucky. And once again, the crouch tech. We crouch tech city over here now to the pellet, and that's gonna end up with a down. And Zaka has one more power left next to Shaq, going for the pickup onto Goodkhan. In the meantime, the save onto Milestone happened, which means both of the servers are on the top side. Very safe, questionably. And we see the pain resonance hitting the generator. That generator doesn't have much of progression, so Zaka is fully chilling right now with nobody to be putting pressure onto him.
Oh, absolutely. But that was some beautiful play by Goodkhan. I give him 10 more seconds or something like that, and he was actually out of power. So really, really well done. I mean, the fact that he was able to prolong that chase for that long in that situation, that is unbelievable play coming out of Goodkhan.
Indeed, we love to see those.
Oh, a little bit of cleansing going on here by Kurzep. Now that there are only 3 survivors left, it's going to be a little bit interesting to see if that is a good pool or not. Is it the one? I didn't quite catch it. I don't know if you did. The one on the hill, if that was actually the one that got cleansed. It might not matter at all because the infection is going to come through in a second. Nope. Zaka actually says, you know what? I don't even want to be around that part of the map. There's nothing for me to defend over there, but still is going to continue to chase here with Kurzep. Kurzep is going to get infected. Question is, how big is the bar going up right now? How fast is he gonna get infected? Because you don't really want to do an M1 if you can make it so that it's just an insta-down M1 instead, and shouldn't be too much longer, and Kurzep should be fully red. Right here it goes. Does have a pallet, but is kind of looping around the dead body of Khan here in a second if he keeps going on this way. I think Zaka knows that. I think Zaka knows this is a favorable position for him. And oh my lord, the little mind game coming around the corner at the pallet where he was camping. I do believe that Milston is in the biggest pickle of his life at the moment.
Yeah, that's one true fact. Now, Martin is gonna have to play the game out of his mind. We have Goodkhan that is sooner or later gonna be sacrificed on the hook. You cannot really help it. You have Kurzep being slugged and you are infected. Now, you don't have much of a choice. If you're going inside the locker, if you're going to crouch in a corner, you might be hurt by Zaka and might be seen. That was quite close. Zaka haven't seen him so far, or maybe he did. He goes straight to main. No, he didn't. He's a little bit lost. But if you're going to cleanse, Zaka will definitely know where you cleanse because the fountain will be revealed on the map. Now, Zaka decides to play the safe thingy, go for the pickup. You know you have the hatch on to Shaq and you're able to hook him close to Shaq. You're able to hook him on the top side, which is quite questionable. I'm wondering what is Zaka plan right now, and I would like to ask you, Nico, what do you think Zaka is thinking right now?
I'm not sure, because if I was Zaka right now, I would be definitely hooking near the shack side, because I'm pretty sure Kurzeb is gonna. I mean, Kurzeb knows that this game is over, as well does Milston. They need to just try to get Milston out of this game. I'm not sure more hook stages is that actually going to be a good thing for them at this point on. So I think Milston is just going to try to keep safe on the opposite side of the map. And that might be actually why Zaka has hooked him on this side of the map, Kurzeb, because he knows that Milston is over here. His intuition is saying he has to be on this side because Zaka wants me to be on this side instead of close to Shack. And here we go. The chase has been started. I do believe Zaka has seen him around main. He is doing a little bit of renovation on the other side, it looks, just to try to open up the main house a little bit. And the pool comes in here, and I don't think this is going to be very pretty for that long. The second he hears the unhook notification come through here on Kurzeb, I think it's going to be, maybe that's not even going to happen. Maybe Milston is actually just going to run way over to Shack's side instead. What do you think?
I think Kurzeb will go for the missing skill checks and Milestone will be going for the hedge. Zaka seems like he literally lost Milestone while he was picking up the red pick, and that's really great situation for Divine that Milestone is slowly making his way towards the bottom side from 1 to from 2 right now towards 3, 4, and maybe even closer to his teammate. He might actually want to save him last second. However, it seems like Zaka is camping the middle part only with the power.
He sees him. He sees him.
Zaka once again spotted Milestone and going for the red pick jukes over there. Unfortunately, didn't quite land it. Once again, that is a rock, Zaka. I'm sorry to say that. Now you're gonna have to break the pallet. You're getting blind just like a pub game. No, not even the blind. That's gonna be the down with the red pick, and we have the eruption value as well.
You gotta respect it. You gotta respect Milston knowing that his time is over here. There's nothing more he can do. Might as well get a little bit of points with the blinding. And I mean, beautifully played by Zaka. We know that Zaka is a beast on Plague, and definitely showed here from the get-go that Zaka came to play. And yeah, that's about all. That's about all they wrote.
Alright, Zaka has his moment of enjoyment. You managed to get all full points, 28 points, 2-6 for Eternal so far. The win condition for Divine, that would be 4k 3 generators left, which is quite crazy. We're gonna wait and see if they manage to pull that off on the killer side right after the quick break.
Welcome back, everybody, to DBDLeague. We have Divine Dead, Tree Trick playing the Killer Plague, going against Eternal, and it's of course Dan, Nightlight, Zaka, and Babazar. And kind of the same add-ons as we saw last game, actually, Sleeps. And already we have found a survivor here in Corrupt Land. We do see Dan sprinting away. Question is if they are going to get sprayed or not, because that is the only thing that I think Tree Trick actually is carrying. Or is caring about, sorry. And maybe a little bit of an M1. Could be. Maybe if the Corrupt goes all the way, it doesn't. Just going to give a lop tap, and we are going to go away from here because we want to make sure that the Corrupt intervention gets as much bang for its buck, Sleeps.
Alright, indeed. Now, we're going back towards the top side. We have to infect as many generators as possible. Team Eternal might actually be doubling one of the generators on the top side, but Tree Trick is saying himself that somebody didn't cross, and we hear that great hiding check spot from Babazar just behind the generator. That's quite interesting and quite fun to do. Tree Trick now still on the bottom side, and I would like to tell you interesting fact is somebody is in the locker and you click on the locker gets affected but the server doesn't, so that doesn't work. Over here Tree Trick was just doing that in case of head-on. If the head-on play was made, yes, the survivor would have get infected. And once again, Dan the man in chase on a guard filler with the M1. You're not gonna end up catching Dan too fast. And you know, Dan is one of the greatest loopers of it, and in fact all of them play very very well in chase and in looping. And you also have Dan with the pellet. He was expecting him to camp the pellet. On the other hand, just Dan decides to go on a tour map with Tree Trick behind him. Now to the jungle gym, going for the vault. Dan doesn't fall from the mind game double vault. Dan is eating that mind game, but he's still safe. He has one ornament jungle gym over there, so we're gonna have a good chase.
Oh yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful setup here from Dan, but can't even make it to the pallet. It's really, really close, but the stun does come through in the end. Dan making sure that he's making every ounce of these jungle gyms and pallets count. And yeah, I think Tritric, I agree, you should give this chase up. You should go and try to find someone else because he's about to lose 2 gens right here in about 10 seconds, I think.
Yeah,
Finding Dan again, isn't it? I think it's Dan once more, and yep, 1 gen popping over here, a little bit of more house renovation going on. The 2nd gen you can hear here around the corner is just about to be done, but we are going to find Zaka. Oh, a little bit greedy, not dropping the pallet, but I guess if you are going to get injured anyway, good time as any to do it right there. And okay, so the 2nd gen not popping quite yet, but we haven't seen. I didn't realize if it was Nightlight or if it was Babazar who was actually on that side of the map. There it is, the 2nd gen popping as we were hearing. And already it's looking a little bit dire here for Divine Dead because remember, they need to get a 4K by this very point right now. They cannot lose a single more gen. If they lose 1 more gen, well, Eternal has actually won this set right here.
Right now, and unfortunately you're having one other great looper into his Babazar for the Russian player that also plays Spirit probably today. Getting the infection from the window, quite interesting pathing over there by Babazar, but at least he didn't get infected fully and he didn't get the M1. Tritric still struggling with infecting survivors. Nightlight is nowhere to be found and you still have 1 Trigen on the bottom side. However, you are unable to play around that Trigen, and speaking about the Trigen, Dan was just doing his job over here, working on the generator. He was chilling. We can say that he was chilling. The generator is almost completed. Then Dan has 1 more filler. Tritric swings through the pallet. However, he gets stunned with the pallet, and that was smash hit value. Great opportunity for Dan to rotate back towards top side and be safe. We see the quick and quiet over there as well. Tritric gets a little bit confused by it, and we go for the fast vault once again. 1 more fort until the pallet, until the window is blocked. Will Dan go for the forms? And Dan is going for the vault. But Tritric connects the Bluetooth to Dan and gets the hit, however.
Yeah, that was a Wi-Fi hit if I've ever seen one. That was straight through the window, but does get it at the end. And yeah, the 4th gen is done, and the 5th gen is also done, Sleeps. This game is already over. They're looking to get 3-man out. They're looking to end this game as fast as humanly possible. Well played by Eternal. You just gotta... you gotta tip the hat to them. They destroyed this game completely, and Dan is not even gonna be sacrificed. They are gonna get the unhook, and 1 door way over here. The other door is on the opposite side of the map, so this is gonna be very difficult to even get anything out of it. And honestly, Tritric, I mean, fought valiantly, but that first chase against Dan, that was what sealed the fate from this game.
You should run from Dan with the first chase just like you would run from the devil. You don't want that. Now, if you want to truly win this game, beat Giga Jugs and just get a 4-man out. And I believe that is gonna what we're gonna see. Babazar going for the vault. Once again the vault, you still have 1 filler. That filler is quite unsafe with Bloodlust that you can build. You can also build Bloodlust knowing that the chase was over there. Dan is going to die for Babazar, however, Tritric was willing to go still for Babazar, but that was a beautiful body block from Dan. I was expecting some firecracker or some flashlight save. You didn't win the match, truly. You didn't get a 4-man out, however. Tritric ended up to getting only 1k 3 stages, and the Eternal wins. The final score of this will be 13-47 on those 2 sets. That's crazy.
That is insane. And obviously Dan goes in for the body block because he doesn't want to give a fresh hook over as well. So beautifully played by Dan, knowing the win conditions to a T. And I cannot believe this game. That was clinically played by Eternal as survivors. They did not give an inch to Tritric. Absolutely astonished over here. Holy moly. I don't know, Sleeps. I don't know how you can top that performance. That is beautifully done. I mean, there's not much to be said. Really, just Dan, kind of the MVP of this trial, I would say. I don't know if you would agree.
Yeah, I agree with you, but we're gonna move on to the further set, Executioner, right after the quick break. We are on Cold Tower, folks, and this time with Undead on the killer side. He's gonna be the Executioner of Team Divine Dead. Now he's gonna face the exact same roster that Tritric faced, hopefully for a better result. This is gonna be the last chance of Team Divine Dead onto staying into the fight with Eternal and We have a beautiful 3-gen, even a 4-gen on top side. We see one of the survivors trying to get the chase. We see Dan over there, the ace, the Russian ace outfit over there. Unfortunately, not quite sure if this is the guy you want to chase on that. We're going for the flick, and we actually land the punishment of them onto Dan. Big problems team over there. Dan is now injured, pre-dropping the pellet. You have the basement into main, so you are unable to play the shack very safely as Dan. On the other hand, Undead is quite happy chasing the shack, going for the flick with Pyramid Head. However, he misses. Dan flicks to the left side and dodges the punishment of Dan. This is already crazy. Dan pre-dropped 2 of the pellets. Dan is already injured. Dan is trying to rotate towards shack, and this might be the nail in the coffin for him, because you're going for the wave and we're going for the flick. Yes, we land the down onto Dan, and that's gonna be a very quick down.
Yeah, and it's actually funny because the pre-drop on the shack pile was actually what signed his death certificate there in the end. It was because of that he had to do the vault animation, which then gives the free M2, obviously, over here to Undead. 1 gen already popping. Question is if we're going to see a second one pop here in a second as well, because Dan, remember, was one of the survivors that was actually already on a gen, but doesn't look like that's actually going to be the case. Only Zaka is on a gen at the moment, and we see Undead checking around the corners, checking everything, making sure no sneaky survivors around here to try to get the free unhook. And with this 3-gen setup that we have over at the hook, it's looking pretty good for Undead. Definitely better than it did for Tree Trick in the last match. And oh, we do see Babazar. Question is, what's going to happen here in the 4 wall, in the 4 lane? Are they going to be able to get a free hit? They are! Beautifully done here by Undead. The pallet goes down instantly, and can we get a second one? Not this time around. Babazar is making Undead work a little bit for it at the very least, and I do think on the corner of my eye, I did see Zaka trying to get up to the hook, but not going to be the case. Not going to get it just yet. Rights of Judgment is prepped up. Does let it rip, but nothing to be found just yet. Is Dan going to go to second stage already? Nope. No second stage coming in here for Dan, and now commence the tunneling, Sleeps.
Like, you would want a good chase as Dan right now. As we've seen, the servers aren't able to spread quite well on the generators. The first generator that popped was a double, and only Zaka had 50% progression. We might see one of the generators popping very soon, and we see them out mind games over there. Undead being very patient. However, Dan is not eating the mind games. We see the over there that was misplayed. Zaka, unfortunately, not quite able to take a protection for his teammate. Going for the firecracker, going for the flick. Unfortunately, none of them lands on the right player. We're going for the pickup. Unfortunately, Zaka isn't here with the head on anymore. And we see the third generator being popped. And I see something very interesting. We had a 5-gen on the top side, but Undead decides to still hook on the bottom side. This is quite questionable move. However, it's his gameplay over there. He might have a smarter mind and a better plan in head that I do right now. And we see the reset over there for Team Eternal. Nightlight is resetting. Bubozaver. Zaka is working on the generator, and I'm expecting to see a double man save.
Oh my lord. Zaka, if he had just a little bit more patience, or if Dan actually went down in front of the locker, that head-on play could have been massive for the side of Eternal. Unfortunately, jumped the gun a little bit, and that is what got Dan killed in the end. Question is if he is going to be sacrificed at this point in time, because remember, the pain res has been used. Eruption has not really been applied to any generator that they've been working on this side of the map, so no perks are really going to be useful at the moment. We do have the NOED, obviously, for the late game insurance to see if they can get just one more kill going. That's going to be the case if we do get to that state. And yeah, Dan, I think, is just going to be sacrificed. There's nothing left for him to do in this trial, but Nightlight, Babazar, and Zaka can still manage to get the 3 people out with the 5 gens, and it's definitely going to be a little bit tougher from this point on, Sleeps.
Yeah, definitely. We see Bubozaver trying to hide. The calls were rightly made, and that is going to interrupt this generator, and the generator doesn't have much of a progress. I believe that was also some blast mine placed by Undead on the generator. I'm not quite sure. Let's gonna see. Yes, that's gonna be the 6 wasted seconds from Team Eternal 4 Undead. The one they pop the 4 generator. Now you have insanely spread with the generators on the map. You have 1 generator in position 1, 2 generators on 6 and 5, which is quite hard to defend. Having 2 survivors alive and injured and healthy as well is gonna be hard to chase somebody. And we have to keep in mind, adrenaline is allowed. You have the NOED, but some adrenaline plays can be made as well, as Eternal might expect that NOED to be brought in the trial and might just play around it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And maybe Zaka is actually the adrenaline player because he's looking kind of interested in a chase here. Not going to get hit by the M2 Rights of Judgment just yet, but it is around Shaq. The pallet is down. There's another pallet that's also down around here, so it's kind of a dead zone here. You only kind of have Shaq to play around with if you want to try to loop into the LT wall that is close by as well. Let's see here what is going to happen. Undead is happy to take this chase, it seems like. Just willingly giving up the gen on the other side of the map, and you have to expect that gen to go down in about 10 seconds, maybe even less actually, because you know Bubblesauer and Nightlight are punishing that gen right now. And yep, he is waiting for the gen to pop so he can proc the no-head. As you can tell, here comes the adrenaline, just not gonna be the play, unfortunately. So close, but just a little bit of mistime. I do believe Zaka was calling it out to his teammates though that, hey, he is waiting to hit me with the no-head.
That was beautiful. Now, unfortunately, that isn't able to chase anybody. You have the node far away from the gates. You see somebody working on generator in position 2. You're going to check it. However, that person might have been already long gone, and we see it's Bubblesauer. You can go for 6 stages as Eternal if you want, but you can definitely do more than 6 stages. We see the generator, we see the gate in position 10 being a lot of progression, and we see the gate also being open, and they're just breaking the door, and this could be a potential 3-man out with only 3 stages won by Undead. However, I think we have somebody zoned inside. That might be Bubblesauer with a little bit of balance. We have the vault. Unfortunately, Undead is quite stressed right now. A lot of pressure onto his shoulders, and Bubblesauer is not going for the gate, but he might actually go for it. He goes for the slow vault. Quite questionable move, why he done that. We're going for the tile. Do you think this is a down, Nico?
It might just be. The life play comes through here though, and it does have the main to go through the other side, but this has to be beautifully executed for them to try to mind game. And I do believe he's going back. Yes, he is, which means probably going to be able to get out before getting the M1 on them here. The mind game's coming through, expecting them to turn back around to that gate, and is actually going to get pushed over to the shack. And remember, that is where the hatch is. I do believe Bubblesauer is going to get out. I don't think there's anything Undead can do, unfortunately. This should be the hatch escape here in 2 seconds. Yep, it is. Beautifully played here by Eternal. Unfortunate that Dan and Zaka had a little bit of a misplay on the head-on play that they were trying to do, and I called it the adrenaline on Zaka to make sure that he was the one getting chased and no one else. The Noah didn't even come to effect. Beautifully played here by Eternal.
Yeah, indeed. Unfortunately, for Divine Dead, they had the exact same result, just as Plague. Slxpzw Plague, 7 points won by Undead so far, and 19 by whole team Eternal on the Survivor side. With that being said, we were gonna move on towards the next killer, which is gonna be, not the next killer, but the next killer play, which is gonna be Zaka. Zaka on the Executioner is gonna be quite interesting. His win condition will be only 4 stages. I believe Zaka is able to do it, but we're gonna see that right after a quick break.
Welcome back, everyone, to DBDLeague. Zaka is pulling out the Executioner, trying to put the nail in the coffin on Divine Dead. And not really that much he has to do, actually. Already finding a survivor here in Corruptland, but not going to take the chase. Says, nah, you know what? I'm not going to chase that side around this time around. All Zaka needs to do is actually get 4 hook states, and then he's actually won the game for Eternal. Seems like a job that he is well fit for. What do you think, Sleeps?
Yeah, indeed. Zaka is destined to actually win this game. It seems like it shouldn't be quite hard. We also have the double range. Zaka going for the flicks for the montage over here, trying to get some quite interesting, quite nasty hits onto Divine Dead, but still, you shouldn't underestimate them. You shouldn't joke around. You shouldn't definitely play around with them, because they can be definitely dangerous. We've seen this in past. Divine Dead being very dangerous against other teams. However, Zaka is not willing to commit to that first chase. We're going back towards the bottom side where the servers already rotated. They were already on the gens, and guess what? We already have some progression on the generators, some considerably progressions that we can actually take advantage of now with Zaka not having any hit and going once again for the flick. Beautiful dodge by Goodkan, the Zarina, and now using the light towards the top side. We want chasing the corrupt side. We all know This is the basically strategy of the beginning of the games with chasing Corrupt, let the others work, and Zaka just going for the M1. And that's quite interesting because there are only 20 seconds left of that Corrupt, and the question is Corrupt still worth? Yes, it's worth because of that. The double range paid off for Zaka already, and that is really great beginning because you're able to get it down into the region. You get in the hook in the basement if you're really willing to, but Zaka goes for this Curse hook pain resonance, which is questionably good.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if this is a pain res. Obviously, we're going to see her in a second. Yeah, it is the pain res, so it is going to take 25% off of a random generator, or the most progress generator, obviously, not a random one. It is on the opposite side of the map, and that means it's going to be difficult for them to come and get the save around here. I do believe that it might have been Kurzip's last one coming in. That is forever funny to look at, especially with the sound effects. But I do believe it was Kurzip's generator over at Killer Shack that actually got nuked. And we do see GoodCon actually being pulled off here. Zygo completely okay with this. He just is playing for the hook states, obviously. Trying to see if he can find anyone. It might just be Kurzip lurking around the shadows around here. And with this kind of build, with the Bamboozle, it's going to be pretty dang easy for him to get a couple of hits in early on at the very least. Let's see here. Around the generator that was kicked, it is actually going to be Tree Trick. Because he's going to take the vault. Vaults are always super dangerous against the pinhead, and does take the 50-50 about left or right, and is going to be a beautiful hit here coming in from Zaka. The firecrackers coming in, not going to get blinded by them. Is that going to allow him to get anywhere else? Tree Trick does have the window. Is Zaka going to let it rip here with the double ranged add-ons? Nope. He's instead just going to take the M1. Going to get pallet stunned though. Beautifully played here by Tree Trick into the main. Question is, do they have a window on this side? They don't, and they can't really take that one. And yeah, this is gonna be the M1 going down. The second hook state is gonna come in, and isn't it gonna be a cage or is it gonna be a pain res? It is gonna be the pain res, Sleeps.
Yeah, Zaka is just taking the pair as an edge. That was interesting and beautiful play over there, going for the first hook and now securing the death onto Tritrick with the victory for your team. Win 2-0, and we have Milestone hiding around for the save over there already. However, Zaka's game sense told him that somebody might be around, and guess what? The luck was on his side, managing to find the Milestone and to tapping him onto the down, still on the top side where the 3-gen is, actually the 4-gen, and also where Tritrick is also hooked. But while I was speaking, Divine that sent somebody to help Tritrick just unhook him. Make sure you're still giving a chance to this game to be played. However, this is already overkill with display resonance being used 3 times in the trial. That's quite good for Zaka.
Oh yeah, Zaka flexing the muscles here, standing around just showboating all over the place. I mean, what beautiful executioner play coming in. His intuition just told him that Milston was around. Someone was around to get the unhook ASAP. I guess maybe the generator that was close had gotten tapped, and that might have been what tipped him to thinking that someone was close. That's the only thing I can think of. 2 gens being done on the other side of the map doesn't really do much, because if Milston goes to this second stage of the hook, well, that's just GG. That's Eternal winning the entire set. So not really much else Zaka needs to do than just camp this hook stage out. And I do believe that is what we're going to see, Sleeps.
Yeah, could be. Zaka is just doing the exact same strategy that he done as Plague just before when he was camping the middle section, making sure nobody crosses, even though Cold Tower is a little bit more large on the middle side than Suffocation Pit. And we also see the save onto Milestone, and Milestone having that renewal in the back pocket, that could actually put a lot of pressure onto Zaka. You just have to chase long enough that your renewal will be kicking in, and you're gonna have a good chase. Even though you will only be able to double it, you're still winning a lot of seconds. However, Zaka is not willing to commit for Milestone. Zaka is going for the fresh hit once again. That's gonna be GoodCon. I don't think GoodCon was hooked before, but we have the chase near the pain resonance, which means this could be a potential another pain resonance hook. However, GoodCon is eating the M1. Zaka losing one more generator, the 4th generator being popped by Team Divine. That GoodCon going in zone trade over the double L well situated. Maybe somebody's going for the protection hit. You can still do that, even though the killer is executioner. And Zaka for flick gets the down, which means if that hook is happening, this is the win.
Yeah, come in with the body blocks, everyone. Everyone tank a hit to save good combo. I don't think that is going to happen, unfortunately. They are probably just going to get hooked, and that is going to spell the end for Divine Dead in this trial. They played valiantly, honestly. Second hook stage coming in for good con. And there is the generator popping, actually. I got to give it to them. They played super, super well here at the end. I mean, they had nothing to work with, and yet still the deliverance coming out of Milston just it seems so problematic all of a sudden. The hit not coming through. It is going to come through at the window, though. And that is Kurzeb being downed by the Noed. That is probably going to be him out of the trial. Nothing to do. Very, very difficult to save, especially with the totem so close to the door and the hook. I do believe this is going to be the 1K at the very least, but an amazing amount of hook states going to come through here because Kurzeb 100% going to be sacrificed, Sleeps.
Yeah, it seems like so you still have the Noed, you have him hooked in a corner. We all know that Executioner is also able to hit multiple persons with the punishment of them. You're still actually managing to just get hyped because of that win. You're going for the wild shot onto the Noed. I don't think Team Divided is deciding to go for the save, even though it could be very good practice. You don't have to go for the save. We see Milestone already saying, nah, I'm just gonna get out. And good con and Tritic just following, ended up with a 1K. 7 stage is really good result. Average result, I would say Team Divided played very, very well on the server side, but unfortunately on the killer side, they misplayed a little bit with only 3 stages. If they would have played a better execution on the killer side, they could actually put a lot of pressure onto Team Eternal and maybe win in the tiebreaker with Artist. What do you think, Nico?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really unfortunate that the games went the way that they did. A little bit here, a little bit there, and they could have still been in it and going to Game 3 on the Artist. Unfortunately, Zaka on the Executioner and on the Plague just did way too much. It was just too much for Divine Dead to actually keep up with. You gotta respect Zaka for doing the flicks that they did in this last match, which just, you know, single-handedly won them the entire game. The flicks coming out from early game where they just 50-50 around the pallets, something like that. It gave these downs, which just meant that Eternal are just a superior team this time around. And once again, haven't dropped a single series yet, and you just got to commend them for it. Beautifully, beautifully done here by Eternal.